Hi everyone, my name is Richard Young, the creator of this cartoon. I'm not trying to adhere to any particular political ideology, though I must admit I'm probably a little bit right of center in my thinking. With artificial intelligence providing the artistic talent, I've been able to put my thoughts and ideas into these political cartoons. If you find this interesting, I'd appreciate you subscribing to this channel, liking the video, and even sharing it with friends. This cartoon sets the scene at an American airport. A jet has just landed, and down the boarding stairs comes a line of very pregnant women. One wears a Russian fur hat with a red star, another is dressed in traditional Chinese clothing, and another might very well be from Iran. The cartoon is about birthright citizenship, the rule that says almost anyone born on American soil is automatically a citizen, no matter who their parents are or why they came. Just 2 days ago, on June 30th, the Supreme Court settled the legal question. In a 6-3 decision, the court struck down President Trump's order trying to end birthright citizenship for the children of illegal and temporary migrants. Chief Justice Roberts wrote that the 14th Amendment means what it has long been understood to mean. A child born here and subject to our laws is a citizen. It's a new world, Roberts said from the bench. It's the same Constitution. So let me be clear and fair right at the top. As of this week, the law is settled. Birthright citizenship is constitutional, rooted in the 14th Amendment of 1868 and an 1898 Supreme Court case. And it would now take an act of Congress, or more likely a constitutional amendment, to change it. But the cartoon isn't really asking what the Constitution says, it's asking a harder question. Is this policy actually wise? Because here's what the picture is pointing at. The United States is one of only a small handful of wealthy nations that grant automatic citizenship to virtually anyone born on its soil. Most of Europe and most of Asia don't do this, and that unusual generosity has created a real, if modest, industry, quote, birth tourism, unquote, where women, often wealthy, sometimes from rival powers like China, Russia, or another anti-American country, travel here on tourist visas specifically to give birth, hand their child a lifelong American passport, and fly home. It is legal, it happens, and it raises a fair question. Should the most valuable citizenship on earth be available permanently to anyone who can book a flight and time a pregnancy? That's where the darker worry in this cartoon comes in. There's an old line, often attributed to Lenin, that the capitalists would sell him the very rope he'd use to hang them. The cartoonist's suggestion is that a policy like this could be a rope of our own, a well-meaning rule born of a noble idea that our rivals and opportunists have quietly learned to pull. There is a counter-argument. The 14th Amendment was written after the Civil War to overturn the Dred Scott decision, which had ruled that some people could never be citizens. The men who wrote it deliberately chose to grant citizenship to the child, not to reward the parent, but because, as one attorney put it this week, in America we don't punish children for the sins of their fathers. And practically speaking, ending birthright citizenship would be a mess of its own. It would create a permanent underclass of stateless children born on our soil and force every American to somehow prove their parent's status just to get a passport. But here's where I land. I think you can hold two things at once. That the 14th Amendment is a magnificent, hard-won promise, and that it's fair to ask whether a rule written in 1868, before jet travel and global birth tourism agencies, should apply without any limit in 2026. The court has told us what the Constitution requires. It hasn't told us what wisdom requires. That part is still up to us. So let me leave it with you. Is birthright citizenship a bedrock of American freedom that we tamper with at our peril, or a loophole the modern world has learned to exploit? Should we follow the plain words of the 14th Amendment or the original intentions of the men who wrote it? Let me know in the comments. Please subscribe, give it a like, and share it with someone who will see it differently. Until next time, keep thinking for yourself.